Greetings. Well, I had a request from one of the viewers. They wanted me to do a tour. Well, tour is a pretty long thing, and so I don't think I can make a single video out of that. But I'll make an effort to walk around, take some more pictures, show you what's going on here. So first, let's start with the overview. Right now I'm standing out on the county road. This is at 1,660 feet approximately. There's about a 20-foot grade to the back of this property. That puts it at about 1,680. So right over here is the front fence line along the road. The fence is somewhat repaired. It was decrepit. We had what I call a ghost fence. The fence was lost in weeds and vines and completely crushed. I pulled it up. We put new posts on it. We tried to straighten it up some. It's working, but it's rough. And we got bananas down here in the low ground right at the fence. And if you look back there in the distance, you can see the big bunches hanging in the plants. Right down next to the bananas, we've got taro. That's that famous plant in Hawaii used for making poi, the purple wallpaper paste stuff, you know, that you get at Luau's. Up behind it is the house that we built in 2007. Between the taro and the house, we've got the newest coffee plants that I've put in on the property. They're probably about 4 years old at this point. They're a little rough. The drought was hard on them, but things are recovering. The rain's come back now. Well, looking up this way is my driveway, a rough thing made out of cinders. Over here is the other acre that I have done nothing with so far, really. We planted a few koa trees up in the back. I see somebody recently purchased the property up there behind me, right along the creek, and they've been building a building up there. It was pretty good property. It's got a creek along one edge, and it's got the same deep soil on this place. Most of the property in Puna is sitting on lava. This particular region is not. It's got deep soil. Right over here in front of the house, you can see the what's going to be the new driveway. That's going to connect here to the old driveway. It's going to loop around the coffee across the front of the house, be 16 feet wide, and it's going to end up heading out the other gate at the far corner of the property, so that you'll be able to pull in, swing past my produce stand and nursery, and then head back out to the road. I had a couple of guys in here yesterday walking the driveway. They were contractors that do rock walls, driveways, and such. Giving me an estimate on what it might cost to get this thing built. And boy, oh boy, he took one look at them pineapples and he went, "Oh man, look at them pineapples." I said, "Yeah, stay out, I'm here now." Yeah, pineapples grow really well here. Yum, yum, pineapple. This corner of the property is being reserved for produce stand and public area of the nursery. We'll have to get some cinders in here, get it all filled in, and then I want to put a road going out that gate over there in the distance, so we'll be able to loop through. Angel trumpets, ohia trees, koa trees. We got some duolo palm or pritchardias there in the background, ice cream bean beyond it, some new macnut trees, and even some durian. Over here is a Kukui Nut Tree. This kukui was planted from a seed back in 2009. It's huge. Morrow blood orange, also quite large. There's a little bit of Natchez blackberry. Hawaii's not famous for blackberry production, but Natchez seems to be doing pretty well around here. The fruit size on Natchez is quite large. Whoa, look at that, bigger than my head. Whoa. sure. I suppose most of you out there going, man, what's the big deal? He's growing blackberries. Well, this is Hawaii. That's a rare fruit here. Come on. One more time. Good. Tired of me showing off dragon fruit yet? This gorgeous looking vine is the Jamaican Lilikoi. It's a passion fruit from Jamaica with an orange flesh fruit. It has yet to fruit here for me. They tell me it's incredibly good, and I'm starting to get flower buds on it. So perhaps later on this year we'll discuss Jamaican Lilikoi. This thing right over here is Rolenia. It's related to chirimoyas and pawpaws and guanabana and such. It's one of the Annonacea that grows really, really well here in Puna. This tree is 4 years old from a seed, and I'm starting to get flower buds all over it this year. You can imagine from the looks of this just how much fruit this thing's going to have on it. We're going to be in the Rolenia business later on this year if nothing terrible happens. I got about 5 of these around the property. Right over here is my new vegetable garden. Previously I had some pigeon peas growing over here, and they're still here. I had to prune them back hard to get the weed block off the area. And I went through and we rototilled. Half of this was not in weed block and it was just full of weeds. Turned everything in. I just got done planting 4 rows of corn over here that are about 30 feet long. It's a Hawaiian super sweet variety. The white stuff on the ground over there is ag lime. The soil is reasonably acid here, so I put a little lime down. It also helps me figure out just exactly where I planted the corn. Well, we already have some snap beans right here, and there's some squash plants over that way. Mango tree. Jabuticaba. Pineapples under macadamia nut. Well, that's a big one. He's making nuts. This scruffy little guy over here is an Atamoya. We'll see how that all works out. Love the fruit. I love Atamoya fruit. Down past it over there we've got Pulasan. Next to it I have a yellow rambutan. Behind it there is Canistel, the egg fruit. Back behind that we've got more Rolenias, and then mountain apples. Rows and rows and rows of pineapples. The last time I took a walk past the Cacao, and back in February I took a walk around the Cacao, but I didn't cut it open, and I didn't do anything to show the inside. So I had a bunch of people protesting. So this time I'm going to go ahead and pick a pod. We're going to cut it open and let you see it. These are the red Cacao. There we go. Pretty, huh? Very pretty. I see my tree is in the process of blooming again too. These funny looking little guys right here. That's cacao flower. Isn't that cute? So let's see if we can get into this stuff. It's kind of like opening a squash. Not easy to do. Hear it popping. There you go. On one side. Let's move around the other here. Okay, got her. Woof. And that's what's inside one of the pods, huh? Looks like I cut a couple of the seeds in the process, but by and large, this right here is your cocoa bean. They have a goop all over them that has a very unusual smell. It's oily, a little bit. Probably use it for skin irritations, little cocoa butter stuff. Anyway, how about maybe we'll scrape these out, and I'm going to show you what we do with them next if we're going to try to make some cocoa nibs. Welcome to my carport. Right here I have a plastic colander. In that plastic colander I have some cacao seed that I extracted yesterday, and I've had it fermenting in water in that colander over there. Colander is sealed on the bottom, the strainer's on the side of this one, so I'm able to ferment off the mucilage, which is one of the first things you're going to have to do if you want to make cocoa nibs out of these beans. So we take them, we put them in fresh water, maybe with a couple of changes of water. We let them sit till the gum on the outside of the bean starts to come off and ferment, so that we can actually get a clean bean out of this. And so these are getting there. They've been here for about 24 hours. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the rest of these that I have into the same colander. Just like that. I'm just going to drop them in here into the colander. I'm going to let them go. Oh, that stuff's got an odd smell. I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of edible type smell. Alright, here we go. More beans. It's a pretty simple process. Just trying to get them off of the fiber that's in here so I don't get all the junk from the pod in with the beans. I want mostly beans. There we go. Yeah, so we'll just let this work for a while. Microbes will help clean the mucilage off. Put them down here on the floor. Take a look here at the empty shell. See, like I say, it's like a squash almost. It's got a hard rind on the outside. This right here is Tahitian lime. It makes some whopping big limes. Citrus grows really well around here. This plant in particular is literally everbearing in this climate. I have some ceviche to make for dinner this evening out of Ono, one of the local wahoo barracuda type fish. So I need some limes for that purpose. Tree behind me is probably a good, well, I don't know, maybe 16 feet in diameter, something on that order. We planted it in 2007. Right over here next to it, well covered up under a tarp with sawhorses holding it up like a pup tent, is my new garden shed and propagation shed. I've got the foundation in, I've got the floor joists in, we put the floor sheathing on, and so I've covered it to keep the rain off the plywood. Right over here are all four walls of the shed, which we prefabbed in my carport during the rain. Stacked them up underneath the eaves over here, and maybe a couple of days David's going to come back from Kalapana. He'll give me a hand dragging them over there, and we'll nail them up in place and get the walls done. Down underneath the lime tree we've got black anthuriums, we have pink anthuriums, and snow white anthuriums. Right over there in front of it, other than the pineapples, we have lemongrass growing. Right over here is one of my all-time favorites. That's the Owari Satsuma Mandarin. And I planted that back around, I think 2008 or so, kind of losing track, when I realized that we probably would be moving, and it takes a while for this tree to come into good bearing. And I wanted oranges while I was here. It's bearing. We're getting yields. Not the size of the ones I used to see in Fremont yet, but orchids in the ground. Right over here are my oldest Jabuticabas. This is a favorite fruit of mine. They take a long time to come into bearing. Somebody had told me they don't fruit here in Mountain View, but then I found some at the gas station and they were fruiting. And so, the heck with what they say about things. Not true. It does fruit in Mountain View. It takes a while to do it though. And to help speed things up, lately I got some more Brazilian varieties of this plant that will come to fruit in much less time, perhaps 4 to 6 years. These could take 10 to 15. It's going to be an investment in time. Right over here in my nursery, I've got flats of some new Jabuticaba varieties. I've never seen this plant grow, never eaten these varieties, but in Brazil they have actually dozens of different forms of this plant, and so we got some seeds in here and I'm going to give it a try. I also have some rare Anonas and then some red custard apples going over here, plus the new Desert King dragon fruit, which is like my yellow dragon fruit, but it has purple flesh. Over here we have apple banana. It's hanging with the giant Lilikoi, Passiflora quadrangularis. So much more to see, but I'm going to end today with my betel nut palm right here and my coconut palms right here back behind me. Betel nut, planted that from a seed about 9 years back. Coconut, less than that, probably 5 years. Picked up the coconuts floating in on the beach down here in Puna. It's not exactly the best elevation for coconuts, but hey, they could grow here. Like I say, we're over 1,600 feet. Coconuts really love it down by the shore, but the trees are growing. And, you know, they were freebies. I picked the nuts up anyway. Anyhow, there's a partial tour in response to a request for a tour of the property. I'll continue. We'll do some more maybe tomorrow or the next day, and it's going to take quite a walk around here because there's a lot of stuff. I've been here for 3 weeks and I still haven't checked on everything, so it's a couple of acres here, you know, so got a lot of stuff going on. Happy gardening. Enjoy.